Just got to check on a couple things. Let's go ahead. Where did I put my phone? Coop. Check. Just trying to share and then I'll get started. Let's get started. You love Lorenzo, huh? Mr. Dr. Matt. We're going to get started.
You with. And I'm shooting shit like Scorsese. Get you whacked, ain't nobody made me. I'm the godfather of this shit, godfather. And you ain't gon' sell me like a bitch. Godfather. Coleon. Shoot like Scorsese. Ain't nobody made me. I ain't no bitch.
All right, it's the kid in the flesh, Marcel Pierre, championship rounds, people, back to cover something that's a little cachet, something that's not in the public eye, something that hasn't been, regulated very long. And I'm talking about bare knuckle boxing, or should I say sanctioned? Either way, some stuff is flying over the radar. And I thought I'd do my due diligence to educate you people. Because there's some special shit going on. Pardon my French. There might be more of that later. But anyways, we're here to talk about bare knuckle boxing or bare knuckle fighting championship. The BKFC. It started out where, BKFC was like Bellator. When Dana White would get mad at his fighters, he'd be like, go to Bellator. And now the BKFC was like when fighters were at the end of their rope. And they're like, well, they might as well. That's the last paydays they're going to get. Might as well use their name value and cash it out with the BKFC. Get their face busted all up. Because they do get busted up. But anyways, MMA great, UFC veteran, Chris Lieben. First brought eyeballs to BKFC because he was doing well. And everybody knew Chris Lieben had some health scares and things like that. And he didn't really leave the UFC in tremendous fashion, to say the least. So the fact that he was doing well and he had a name, people were like, oh, well, we'll get some clicks. We'll check it out. Wasn't lasting. Chris Lieben did as well as he could. But, he's at the end of his career. So does it matter? Let me see here. Everything going good. So, anyways, again, there's a standout fighter that I'm going to get to here in just a second. But first, the real big fight, the marquee fight that brought eyeballs to the BKFC was, of course, Paulie Malignaggi versus Artem Lobov. The GOAT, if you will. Yeah, Artem Lobov, fans call him the GOAT, but they say it sarcastically because he's nowhere close to that, of course. But anyways, let's see here. Dr. Matt, I'll go ahead and put you up here. He loves Lorenzo Hunt, and we're definitely here to talk about him today, to not let the cat out of the bag. Anyhow, so Paulie Malignaggi, Artem Lobov, controversy. Artem gets his hand raised. He gets in there with Jason Knight after, beats him, and then Jason Knight fights smarter, ends up knocking Artem out. So then Artem retires, cashed him out. So then you move on to Anthony Rumble Johnson, the late Anthony Rumble Johnson. People thought he was going to fight in bare knuckle boxing. No, he was like the enforcer, head of security, something that doesn't get in the ring and actually throw the hands, you know what I mean? So that was just smoke and mirrors. What was next? Well, the sexy fight, if you will. Paige, 12 gauge Van Zandt versus Rachel Ostovich. Oh my gosh. You know, I think only people that were rushing to their TVs to see this one were the perverts hoping for a wardrobe malfunction, because we already saw this fight in the UFC and it wasn't a good fight. It wasn't a good boxing match. And I think Paige got beat, but who cares? You know, neither one of them are going to be champions here. Let's see. I'm rambling here. Let's get to the point here. Lorenzo Hunt, the Juggernaut. He is must-see TV. And let's go ahead and that there. Lorenzo Hunt is must-see TV. The man had a lackluster MMA career, I think going like 3-5 or something like that. Not very good. You know, he's got finished a few times, but this is his niche. Like in the BKFC, he puts guys down, puts guys away. It's disgusting. It's tremendous shit. You know what I mean? He's doing big things, and that's why I'm here. That's why I've dedicated this whole segment, this whole show rather, to this guy, Lorenzo Hunt, who is an habitual line stepper. And before I'm done here, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But anyways, Lorenzo Hunt, cruiserweight, middleweight, soon to be maybe heavyweight. I mean, he's running through the ranks of the BKFC, and he's already got 2 titles. Disgusting. I can't say that enough. But hold on, let's get here. So the first thing I want to show you about Lorenzo Hunt is just the fact that, you know, he gets in your face. He's got bravado. Like he is. Let me go ahead and put up the so unprofessional. There, we'll just do that. Just to give you a good look at this guy. To put a face with who I'm talking about. Now, there's not so often do guys get out there and they talk hella trash, like disrespectfully, and then they back it up with their hands. This is one of those guys. Like he really gets in there and walks that talk and separates guys from consciousness, sends them to the shadow realm, if you will. He does that. Lorenzo Hunt is not to be trifled with. And if he catches you slipping, he might make some fire content at your expense. And I'll get to that in just a second. So Lorenzo Hunt, he's recently called out Alan the Talent Belcher, who is another former UFC fighter, like Artem Lobov was, but a lot better than Artem was. That's his next fight he wants to call out. A guy with a name. He's fought the likes of Joe Riggs, who had a feud with, Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz, they fought in the UFC. Nick Diaz attacked him in the hospital afterwards. It's on UFC Fight Lore, if you want to check that out. But yeah, Nick Diaz, his opponent, Joe Riggs, got in there with Lorenzo Hunt, and so did, who else got in there with Lorenzo? Anybody of note? Am I missing somebody? Oh, yeah. Mike Richmond. Anyhow. Is it Mike? It's Mike. All right. Former Bellator fighter who used to fight at a lower weight class, and now he's fighting up at higher weight classes. But anyways, so the first thing I'm going to get into is Lorenzo Hunt versus Joe Riggs. Now, this is very disrespectful. They're at a press conference, or maybe it was a weigh-in. It was one of those settings. Lorenzo's eating a damn tomato. I guess some people, it's a delicacy. I guess some people snack on tomatoes, and he was one of those guys. Like I said, if Lorenzo catches you slipping, well, I'll let the video show you what's going on.
And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, your main event for the BKFC World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Lorenzo Hunt, taking on the #1 challenger, John Riggs.
He really thinks it's funny. So as you see here, he's eating the tomato, smashes it in his face. Like, Joe Riggs is like looking right at the tomato. It's almost like he wants it. And maybe Lorenzo thought that too, so he let him have it. How does the fight play out? Well, Lorenzo puts those hands on him and puts Joe Riggs down. Joe Riggs struggles to get up, falls over, struggles to get up again, falls over the other side. It looked the part. But if you ask me, no disrespect to Joe Riggs, MMA veteran, he's been in there plenty of times. I think he found a way out and he got out of there. Like the stumbling down, the losing balance, it looked comical. It looked like terrible acting to me, but it fit the part, and he got out of there. And Lorenzo Hunt got another TKO KO victory. There's other guys that acted like he hit him on the ground, and then they lay flat like they're out. But Dan Mergliata was the judge. He's like, yeah, he didn't hit him. And the guy had to get up. He just wanted a way out of there. Nobody wants to be in there with Lorenzo Hunt. He's doing some disgusting things to people. Next I'm going to talk about here is Hector Lombard. Hector Lombard was the guy in Bellator at their middleweight that Bjorn Rebney, the president at the time, said that, hey, he can beat Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva was in the midst of his run as, the greatest fighter of all time. Anyways, Bjorn said he could beat him. Where the UFC signed him, had a wishy-washy performance. I think he debuted against Tim Bosch and lost, so that dissipated all the buzz of the potential Anderson versus Hector fight. And he won some, he lost some, washed out of the promotion. Now he's here in the BKFC, and he had a controversial win over recently stated Joe Riggs here. And afterwards, Mr. Lorenzo Hunt decides to hop over the ring, the ring ropes, and get in Lombard's face, but it didn't go that well for him. I'm going to show you it here in slow motion. I don't know if he was trying to intimidate him or what the case was. But as you see, he's in his face, and, Hector Lombard doesn't waste time. He just starts throwing them damn hands, starts popping him. And, Lorenzo's like, he's blocking, I think, but he didn't block anything. All the punches got through, if you see here. So Hector stands his ground. Lorenzo looks kind of silly here. But, Lorenzo's not going to let that ride. He's not going to let this guy just, put hands on him and nothing happens to him. But I'm glad this didn't escalate, because we actually got a fight out of this, and we got even more theater out of this. This is from a press conference where a reporter is in the midst of asking Hector about what happened when Lorenzo jumped over the ropes, and the rest as follows.
You see a clown jumps over the fence and attack you. What are you gonna do? I'm pretty sure you're gonna do the same thing. You shut your fucking mouth. You shut your fucking mouth. Fuck. Nobody don't want to hear you talk.
That's not my mic.
You ain't shit. Watch out. You ain't shit, bitch. Get it from me.
Hold on. There's more. So long story short, Hector Lombard is in the middle of a press conference, and in comes Lorenzo Hunt, snatches his belt, bangs it on the damn stage, and says he stole it from him. Ain't no champion unless I say so. And then they fight, and Lorenzo beats the brakes off of him. Again, he removes the brakes from the automobile. All right. Anyhow, so I mean, there's more here. Like I said, this guy is an habitual line stepper. And the next line that he steps over is the line of his last opponent being Mike Richmond. And this is what happens at the press conference that they're holding. And you get a really good look of the gymnasium that they're holding this press conference from. I don't think that was by design, but it's here for your viewing pleasure. And I'll put this full screen.
On your skin right here.
Blah,
Take
blah,
that fake ass gold out.
blah, bro. I don't know why you took this fight. I don't know why they sanctioned this fight. This is a terrible,
Because they don't think you're shit. That's why.
I just
They
wanted
think you're a
everybody to
fucking
see
bum.
what Mike Richmond is up against. We are totally different people.
Take that fucking chain out.
Two different men, two different weight classes, two different monsters. He should have stayed. You can't be that stupid. You can't be that stupid. You're stupid and you're
Wow. Yay.
Diego, don't.
Like pizza, he's everywhere you want to be. So as I said, this guy is highly controversial. He will get in your face. You know, Mike Richmond says that he was going to slap the shit out of him. Hey, take that fake chain off. And he gets the shit slapped out of himself. Like, he gets slapped. I thought that was ironic. But, yeah, these guys fought. And Mike Richmond was handling his business. Drops Lorenzo Hunt, who's, I forgot to mention, who is 40. Yeah, so he's really hitting stride late in his career. But drops the homie, drops old Otis. And you know old Otis ain't been dropped since 82. But anyways, drops old Otis being Lorenzo Hunt. And Lorenzo Hunt gets up and puts him to fucking sleep, son. And has this to say after.
Mike Richmond caught me with a fingernail in the eye early in the early rounds, and I just literally couldn't see him. I think he faked the jab and threw a two around and caught me on the chin, sat me down for a second. I got a chance to recuperate, and I took care of the business. I'm the best in the world, and like I said, it's not a mistake. I've put the work in. I've been tortured. I've tortured myself. I've been through hell, and I brought a little piece of it back with me to show everybody how hot it is in hell. It got hot in there. Mike Richmond went to sleep in there. And thank God he woke up.
He's not playing around in there. And he's got the power, the athleticism, and the boxing wherewithal to get the job done. As you can see, Mike Richmond splayed out for the world to see, unconscious, staring into the lights, but seeing nothing. It's a real thing. I mean, it's the harsh reality of the sport. But yeah, Lorenzo Hunt, like I said, he called out, Alan Belcher next. That's going to be a cracker. That's what they call, hard-hitting fights, across the pond. Marcel, you're not across the pond. Good point. So we're going to move on. Again, next time you hear Lorenzo Hunt's fighting, watch the pressers. Watch the fights. It's all going to be entertaining. I mean, he's really putting the BKFC on the map. I mean, there's guys with names. He's making his name here. And the guys that make your name here have the biggest ceiling. But, like I said, he's 40. So how long will the train last? I don't know. But I'm going to have a fucking ticket, on that motherfucker until it crashes or runs out of gas, runs out of steam. Whatever the hell it runs on, Anyways, just a few other things to wrap up bare knuckle boxing. I think it was the Knuckle Mania 3. Greg Hardy was in there. And we all know Greg Hardy washed out of the UFC. Wishy-washy performances. Not impressive. You know, he did put some hands on some guys, but he didn't have the staying power, the skills to, remain in the promotion for any meaningful period of time. Anyhow, what's my point here? Last time we saw Greg Hardy, Hasim Rahman Jr., yeah, he got knocked out. Well, he got knocked down and stopped. Hasim did. But he was way smaller than Greg. Greg gets in there with a guy his size, no gloves, and he gets put to sleep. I mean, look at this guy. Or should I say this side? Look at this guy. Does he look like he's all the way there? Yeah, it's probably because he's not. Again, wrapping up BKFC. I hope I'm saying that right. But wrapping up BKFC, Diego Sanchez gets in there. And everybody said he should have retired 5 fights before his actual UFC career was over, probably. I mean, the guy fought in Khabib's Eagle FC, lost to the Motown phenom, Kevin Lee. And now he's in there boxing a former boxer, and he gets busted up. I mean, look at this guy's face. But after the fight, there's some legitimate claims that, this guy's corner was greasing, like really lathering him up. Not just putting the Vaseline on the face, but all over the neck, all over the damn back, places that shouldn't be going. And that matters in the BKFC because bare knuckle boxing isn't like normal boxing. These guys can grapple a little bit, hold in position, do a little dirty boxing, little rabbit punches, if you will. It's legal. So that matters. So maybe this one gets turned into a no contest, but I don't think it should. I mean, does Diego Sanchez's face make you think he should be in there again? Now, I know Jason Knight and Arlen Lobov went to war, and I know the nature of this is you see, well, we'll get to that last part later. Guys get busted up in this. But seeing a guy that already had the egg scrambled so many times, I mean, there ain't no scrambling left. I mean, there is. I mean, he's still got his faculties, I think. I hope. But, he's had a long career. This guy should be able to retire at this point. For all the fights he's had, all in combat sports, he should be able to retire. I'm going to get off that somber note and move on to the last thing I'm going to talk about when it comes to bare knuckle boxing. And that's another name, Mike Perry, Platinum Mike Perry. He fought Michael Venom Page, a big name, another big name from the UK, and beat him. Diego Sanchez thought he could Mike Perry his way through this fight against a former boxer. Grit it out, tough it out. He ain't got that Mike Perry in him. And Mike Perry, he's not a stranger to boxing at all. So he's another star that the BKFC has going rather. And like I said, if these guys add more guys like Lorenzo and Mike Platinum Perry, I mean, they're going to get some damn eyeballs. I mean, they already won fans over in the UK with the Perry MVP fight. And Lorenzo Hunt is winning fans over organically. Imagine some marquee signings. Greg Hardy had, somewhat of a name, I guess. Former NFL player, former domestic violence participant, But yeah, guys, Lorenzo Hunt, bare knuckle fighting, championship. Tune in. It's worth the watch. And they had a women's fight. The woman punched the other woman, knocked her down, and she fell down. I shit you not. Her ankle snapped. Her leg was going this way, and her foot, bow, like that. And you know what she did? She reached down, she grabbed her foot, put that bitch back in place, and tried to stand up and keep fighting. I mean, these people are cut from a different cloth. I'm telling you. I mean, they want to be invited back. They don't want to be left off the cards. And I hope they're getting paid well because this is a brutal form of combat. Bare knuckle. Check it out. Check out Lorenzo Hunt highlights. Check out all the guys he's put to sleep. Check out the guy that tried to get out of there real quick and said he hit him on the ground and he just laid down flat. Check out that guy. Hilarious. And then he did end up getting up and fighting. Got his ass beat. Got finished with a blow that I feel like hit him in the chest. But he went down, You know, he fought a fight, had a huge hematoma on his head. I'm getting off the subject. Bare knuckle fighting. Check it out. I'll be back for the next thing. Marcel Pierre, championship rounds. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And until next time, stay frosty.